It had been raining for 4 nights straight. I remember because every shift started with the same routine: unlock the front office, flick on the space heater, and wipe down the front desk where the roof leaks just a little near the corner. I'd sit behind the counter, headphones in one ear, and flip through a paperback or half-watch the static-choked motel security feed on the old monitor. Most nights, nothing happens. Tenants barely speak. Half the rooms are empty. Occasionally, a trucker checks in, nods, and throws cash on the counter. I sign the logbook, hand over a key. That's it. But last Thursday, the phone rang. The desk phone never rings. There's no outside line, no incoming service. Guests use their cells, if they get reception at all. I stared at the receiver. The red light blinked. 2 short rings, then silence. Out of habit, I picked it up. Front desk. Static. Then, a click. Then a voice. Not a voice, really. More like someone trying to sound like one. Slow. Too slow. Room 3. My spine stiffened. I looked at the register. Room 3 was sealed. Has been for 25 years. I'd asked once. The owner just said, "No one goes in there." You don't need to know why. I hung up. I told myself it was a crossed wire. Electrical interference from the storm. The motel's ancient, the wiring probably predates color TV. But I still found myself looking at the camera feed. Room 3's hallway cam is busted, black screen. Still, I stared at it, long after the ringtone had died. The next night, I unplugged the front desk phone. Just to be sure. Around 3 a.m., the heater cut out. Again, not unusual. But as I got up to check the fuse box, I heard it, from under the floorboards. Thump. Then a pause. Then another, slower this time. It wasn't pipes. It wasn't rats. It was walking. 1 foot. Then another. Following me from underneath the floor. I stood still. Waited. Silence. I forced myself to check the breaker. Power flicked back on. Everything looked normal. Too normal. I sat back down, trying to calm down, staring at the grainy security screen. At 3:17 a.m., the monitor flickered. Room 3's camera, black screen, blinked on for a second. And in that brief flash, I saw someone standing in front of the door. Still. Back turned to the camera. Head cocked too far to the left, like a puppet someone forgot to finish carving. Then the feed died again. I didn't move for 10 minutes. Eventually I opened the logbook to distract myself. But something felt off. There, in my handwriting, today's date. Room 3, checked in, Tom W. I didn't write that. Last night was my last shift. At least. I think it was. Around 2:45, I smelled something sweet. Not rot, more like syrup or rotting fruit. It was faint, but it came in waves. Then I heard the office door creak. But the door didn't open. It just moved slightly. Like someone pressed on it, then stopped. Then the phone rang again. Even though I had unplugged it. I answered without thinking. Hello? Breathing. Then my voice. But not quite. I'm here now. I dropped the phone. I don't remember falling asleep. But I woke up slumped against the wall. Head pounding. Everything looked untouched. Except the logbook was missing. And something, had taken my spare motel uniform from the back closet. The security monitor blinked once. Room 3's door was open. And someone stood behind the counter, facing the camera. It looked like me. But the smile was all wrong. Final line. I quit that night, but sometimes, late at night, I check the motel's live stream online. And he's still there, sitting behind the desk, waiting. He looks more like me every time. The library closes at 8 p.m. sharp. After that, it's just me in the quiet. I do inventory, shelve returns, update the catalog. I've worked this night shift for 4 years now. I've come to like the solitude. Last Thursday, something odd happened. The log showed a book had been checked out at 7:59 p.m., Folklore of the Appalachian Hollow, Volume 2. I didn't see anyone come in. The title sounded unfamiliar, but it was listed in our old catalog. Curious, I went to the archive database. Apparently, it had been removed from circulation in 1986. I figured it was a database glitch. That's not rare, our system's outdated. But when I cross-checked the entry, there was a timestamp. Checked out manually, in person. Basement level terminal. That shouldn't be possible. The basement computer hasn't worked in decades. Still, I told myself it was an error. Probably just misfiled metadata. But when I walked past the archive stairwell to lock up, I noticed the light down there was on. And I was sure I hadn't turned it on. I went down the next night. It was snowing outside, soft, silent flakes. But the basement air felt humid, wrong. I flipped the light switch anyway, though it was already buzzing. Every bulb lit up, except one over the center of the archive shelves, where our oldest records are stored. That corner stayed dim. I told myself it was just a dead bulb. Still, I kept glancing toward it. I decided to check the terminal just to settle my nerves. Dust covered the monitor. Cobwebs trailed from the keyboard. Clearly untouched for years. But the screen was on. A green blinking cursor. And below it, a login screen already filled in with a name, C. Dalton, my own. I didn't remember ever logging into that machine. I hadn't even been trained to use it. Then I heard a sound behind me. Soft. Rhythmic. Step. 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 I turned, heart tight in my chest. No one was there. I waited. The silence returned. But the smell of paper felt heavier now, almost sour. I left the basement in a hurry. On my next shift, I decided I wouldn't go down again. Whatever was happening, I'd report it Monday. Maybe have maintenance shut the power to the basement. Around 7:40, a teenager brought a book to the counter. No cover. No barcode. Just a leather-bound spine with uneven stitching. I opened it. Blank pages. All except one, toward the center. My name. Repeated over and over in different handwriting styles. Clara Dalton. Clara Dalton. Clara Dalton. Pages of it. Where did you find this? I asked. The boy shrugged. Shelf in the basement. I hadn't unlocked the basement that night. I locked the doors early, heart racing. I checked the main monitor, one of the cameras still showed the archive stairwell. Motionless. But the light was flickering now. Then I saw her. A woman, my size, my hair, standing at the top of the stairs, not moving. Her arms hung wrong. Too long. Her neck leaned, as if she were listening to something I couldn't hear. She turned toward the camera. I looked into her face. It was mine. But she blinked too late, like someone still learning how to time it right. The feed cut out. I don't remember much after that. I woke up at the reference desk. Everything looked normal, almost. Except the book was gone. In the real logbook, it now listed me working the basement shift. Final line. I called in sick tonight. But just now, my phone lit up with a new voicemail. It's a recording of me shelving books. Only. I'm not there. And I don't remember saying any of those words. Rain again. Third night in a row. It's always worse on the graveyard shift. Water hits the windows like tapping fingers. Echoes down empty elevator shafts. You notice sounds more when the world's asleep. I've worked this building for 6 months. Quiet gig. For patrols a night, all logged with timestamps and badge scans. My beat is 27 floors. The 28th, top floor, is sealed off. Still under renovation. Keycard access only, and I don't have that kind of clearance. At 2:12 a.m., I got a motion alert. Zone 2803, northeast stairwell. I checked the console. Thought maybe it was a glitch. That sensor hasn't pinged once since I started here. The camera feed was dark, but not off. It looked fuzzy. Like the grain on an old tape. For a second, something flickered across the lens. A figure. Too tall. Moving strangely, like its joints didn't know how to bend. Then the feed cut out. I replayed the footage. Nothing there. Still, I logged it. False motion alert. Possible sensor error. Just doing my job. The next night, same alert. Same time, 2:12 a.m. But this time, the footage was clear. Someone, or something, was walking down the hallway of 2803. Only, it wasn't really walking. It was repeating. Like a video loop, but jerky. A stutter every few steps. The same limb swing. Same slight turn of the head. Over and over. I paused the video. Rewound. Watched the same 4 seconds. And then, on the 4th replay, it turned toward the camera. Not the original footage, the loop itself changed. Its face was blurry. Like wet paper stretched over a mannequin. But it saw me. I swear it saw me. I grabbed my badge and took the elevator up. The doors opened. Silence. Cold. Smelled like concrete dust. I swept my flashlight across the floor, unfinished drywall, buckets, coiled wires. No footprints. Nothing human. Then my radio crackled. Zone 2803, alert active. I looked at the hallway. It was coming from right where I was standing. But nothing moved. I went back downstairs. Logged another false alarm. But I couldn't shake the feeling that something followed me into the elevator. Last night, the system autologged my patrol route. But there was a problem. It showed 4 entries to the 28th floor. 4 different times. Each badge scan recorded from my keycard. But I never went up there. I printed the log. My name, my ID, my timestamps. All accurate. As if I had gone. Security protocol says I report anomalies. But how do you explain being in a place you know you weren't? At 3 a.m., all cameras went out. Just static. Then they flickered back on, every feed showed the same thing. Me. Walking. Floor to floor. Simultaneously. In every hallway. Same steps. Same rhythm. Same stuttered turn of the head. Only one feed was different. The front lobby cam. It showed the real me, sitting at the desk. Frozen. Watching. Then, slowly, all the versions of me turned toward the lobby camera at once. Their heads tilted. They smiled. And walked off screen. Tonight I didn't come to work. But the live feed still shows me sitting at the desk. And every few minutes, I get a ping, Zone 2803. I don't think it's empty anymore.